Either everybody in this country has the same rights and responsibilities regardless of the colour of their skin and we're all equal, or we don't. And this is a battle that's playing out in South Africa as we speak, and it's a battle between non-racialism, the belief that everybody in South Africa, regardless of their race, is entitled to the same thing, or African nationalism, which is the belief that it's Africa for Africans, and people who are described as African by virtue of the colour of their skin are entitled to a privileged status. My name's Phil Craig and I'm the leader of the Referendum Party, and I want to talk to you about some of the comments made by Jacob Zuma this week and actually how shocking they are, and for us to take a moment to think about the implications of what he said. Now, Jacob Zuma said, in the context of preventing Cape independence, what we need to do is we need to merge the Eastern Cape and the Western Cape. And why does he want to do that? Well, his intent was expressly clear. He wanted to remove the right of the Western Cape people to make decisions for themselves. And just think that through. He wanted to actively stop the Western Cape people from being able to make decisions for themselves. What's significant about the Western Cape? Well, what's significant about the Western Cape is it's the only province in South Africa where the majority of the population is drawn from ethnic minorities. And all people, regardless of their race, religion, culture, etc., have the right to self-determination. They have this inalienable and unquestionable right to make decisions for themselves. And the Western Cape people have the right to choose to be part of South Africa and to be part of this dispensation, but they also have the right to choose to make a different plan. And obviously Cape independence is the belief that the people in the Western Cape would be better served if they broke away from South Africa and were able to run their own country and make their own decisions, as opposed to remaining part of South Africa and ultimately allowing people in the rest of South Africa to make those decisions for them. So when Jacob Zuma came along and said, look, we want to actually restructure the way that our country is governed, purely with the purpose of denying the people of the Western Cape their democratic will, this was African nationalism at its absolute worst. And what was terrible was that he was cheered on from the sidelines, and inevitably so. But people thought it was absolutely right. They thought it was a great idea because we have a fundamental problem in South Africa with African nationalism and actually this lack of respect for people who are drawn from ethnic minorities who should be seen as equal in the constitution are equal, but in reality many people think, and we found their own polling, that a vast number of people in the West Cape felt that people of minority groups should act as guests in this country. And what Jacob Zuma has ultimately done is demonstrated just how essential Cape independence is. If we want to be in control of our own destiny, if we want to make decisions for ourselves, if we want to exercise our right to self-determination so that we can be in control of our lives and create the future that we want, then clearly that's not going to happen in South Africa. And this is the perfect example of showing that many people in South Africa are actively aligned against the people of the Western Cape. They do not see us as equals. They do not want us to have equal rights to them. Actually, they find it an affront that we might want to leave South Africa, and we get these ridiculous comments of go back to Europe or Africa for Africans and so on, which are completely unconstitutional, completely unreasonable. Now, ultimately, what are we going to do about it? I hope that you're going to vote for us at the Referendum Party in the elections. If you want to find more about us at www.referendumparty.org. And of course, we're fighting to allow the people of the Western Cape to vote in a democratic referendum, all the people of the Western Cape, black, coloured and white, and collectively decide, do we want to remain in South Africa or do we want to leave and be in charge of our own destiny? Thank you for listening. See you again.